Hello and welcome to Roco Radio in the community. We have a great guest as Adam Buck will join us, the CEO of Youth Experience Fund. They're helping students pursue their dreams right here in Rockingham County. Let's get started. It's in the community.
Okay, all right. Add it up.
Welcome into another edition of In the Community. We're joined with Adam Buck of Youth Experience Fund. Adam, how you doing, buddy?
Doing just fine, Joe. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Hey, we're glad to have you talk great things happening nonprofit wise and what your organization is doing. First question I'm going to ask you, we'll get to Youth Experience Fund, but are you for the brand? I know you're a former punter. You must be for the brand, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like I'm Aaron Rodgers dialing the Pat McAfee show today. It's cool. Yeah, definitely for the brand and all about it.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and tell us about the Youth Experience Fund.
Yeah, definitely. So for anybody that's not familiar with the for the brand reference, was a punter, big fan of Pat McAfee's. Just some background on myself. Yeah, I attended UNC Chapel Hill. I graduated in 22. I got the chance to play a couple years of football there. Actually, fun party fact is I've played in two bowl games, two NFL stadiums, 50,000 person crowds, and I've never played in a football game. How wild is that? And you'd ask, how's that possible? I was a soccer player, and Coach Brown was kind enough to give me a locker after a little bit of hard work. So was able to pivot into football and just kind of serve as that in that reserve role, and had a great time doing it. And then more on the Youth Experience Fund side, was able to start this and co-found this nonprofit with some friends from Rockingham County following school, and help some kids kind of achieve their goals the way I was lucky enough to achieve some of mine.
You know, I was looking at that and saw your bio that you had never played high school football, and I never remembered calling your name either doing broadcasts. So, how do you get into that idea of I'm going to walk on or I'm going to work hard so that Mac Brown notices me in a sport that I've never played before while you're in college?
Yeah, definitely. It was definitely an interesting experience. So, for context, I was a practice goalkeeper at UNC. I was playing club soccer. I was practicing with the varsity men's team. I was even practicing with the women's team, right? Anywhere I could touch a soccer ball, I was trying to. And I'll never forget, my dad actually called me. It was like 8 in the morning. And he says, "Hey, there's a football tryout today." And I was just, I'm trying to sleep. Let me go back to bed. But noon came around, the time of the tryout, and like right before, I texted one of the admin that was facilitating that tryout and said, "Hey, I want to just come try to kick." Go out there to kick. And for those that don't know, kicking and punting are two very different things. So I went out there to kick initially, wasn't great at it. And they asked me, "Can you punt?" And my reaction was, they punt in football? They sure do. And they snapped me a ball, and the rest was history. So was lucky enough to play with some great players in Chapel Hill, and be on a pretty cool team. We got to go to the Orange Bowl. We got to go to the Mayo Bowl. So got to go to some cool places at the same time.
How did that team aspect, that camaraderie, how is it different at the college level, at the football level too, than what you experienced in high school? And how did you use that moving forward as we talk about Youth Experience Fund?
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, in terms of the environment, it was interesting. I joined the team in a weird time. It was the height of COVID, right? We reported in June 2020. So, I mean, everything was shut down. We were the only people on the campus. Right, red lights weren't really even weren't enforced. It was a different time. It was a ghost town. So, I mean, my first ever game, my parents couldn't even come to. Right, it was against Syracuse. I'll never forget it. It was the most dystopian feeling. Right, like it's crowd noise and it's coming from a speaker. There's no one in the stadium except maybe a camera guy. And it was just a different time. And building community in that, I think, was difficult. It was a challenge, but some of my best friends came from that opportunity. And I think working with difficult times and still being able to build in difficult times is a really key principle to what we're bringing to Youth Experience Fund, right? We're trying to find students that want more for themselves, but haven't been dealt the best hand. And that's our motivation, and that's who we serve. So yeah, that's definitely a very strong principle that we've taken into our mission.
It's crazy looking back, piping in the noise in COVID for sports example, piping in the noise during the broadcast in the stadiums. Piping in the noise is an almost like an analogy. Now we can, with the noise was piped in, we felt it was real, like that was the world that we're going to be in. So the way that we adapted to that, I feel like nonprofits especially have used that today to say, hey, when the noise is piped in, we've already experienced that, we're ready to go no matter what faces us.
Definitely. Yeah. And that's something we've had to really, really take into stride with our mission is, there's going to be highs, there's going to be lows, but navigating the lows and celebrating the highs is the most important thing you can do. Right. So it's definitely a key part of our value system.
Tell us a little bit more about your mission and purpose at Youth Experience Fun.
Yeah, I can provide some context as a whole. So we started out kind of as like a happy-go-lucky check writing group, right? What we did is we'd say, hey, nominate any student that has some particular interest that could be, useful, could use our resources. So if there was a kid that was really interested in science, right, we'd pay for them to attend a science camp. And one day it was actually funny. We were talking to the Jack Kent Cooke Foundation, which is a massive foundation out of Washington, D.C., and they poked us on our impact. And we had never been poked before, right? Because, when you're doing something good, there can't be anything wrong with it, right? It has to be perfect. But we were humbled when he said, it's awesome that you're able to send a kid to camp in third grade. That's a wonderful thing. But what's the greater impact there? They're still going to home to the same household. How are you really impacting their lives outside of an individual positive experience? And that one question completely made us pivot our model. So we kind of launched a case study about 10 months ago, and we looked into how our resources were being used. And what we realized was that other organizations were using our resources as an incentive. And I'll give you an example. There's a group in Rockingham County that we work really heavily with that serves kids that have gone through some things and maybe need some therapy to gain their alignment. And the way that the therapists were using our resources was, hey, student, if you reach this metric, and this metric, you'll be rewarded with a recording studio session. And your passion is music. So like, of course, you're gonna need to fulfill these things in order to gain that experience. And the response was like, it was an incredible stimulus, right? Like these kids completely shifted their ways. Like they completely shifted their ways and the way they approach their futures, right? It totally changed. Their grades went up, their attendance went up, their behavior improved. So then we said, wait, let's just build this in-house. Let's just do this. Let's select some students. Let's serve them for a long period of time. So now we serve high schoolers, and we pick these students and we stick with them till they graduate. And we look for a passion that the student has. We look for some type of financial or academic need. And we look for a kid that just wants better for themselves, right? And those three factors, those three pillars have really helped us find some incredible kids that are really haven't been dealt the best hand, but could utilize what we can provide them. So now we say, look, if you're interested in music, student, then you've got to get these grades. You've got to behave in this way. You've got to show up to class, and you're rewarded with a recording studio session or a football camp or whatever really aligns with their passion. But it's incredible to see the response. We've got students that have never really done well in school, making A's and B's now, right? Putting themselves in, a college level position, which is incredible considering some of their past. So we're really lucky and blessed to do what we do and to work with some of the students that we get the chance to.
How do you feel when it comes to those moments of opening up avenues? Like literally the road has to be opened for students at that age to find what they're passionate about. They might even think at some point in time that they're passionate about music or whatever, right? But when they can't go down and find out what that true passion is unless they get to that road of music, and then maybe they get there and that beautiful avenue is what they love. It's what they do for the rest of their life, but maybe that opens up another road. Basically, in my opinion, you need to have those roads open for young students to be able for them to experience what is out there for them.
Yeah, Joe, that's spot on, right? We have a saying in house that's you have to see better to want better for yourself, right? We all think that it's an innate thing. You're born with drive or you're not born with drive. The exposure to have something to work for and that incentive is unmatched when it comes to output and what these students can put in for themselves. So there has to be an incentive there. And some of us are lucky enough to kind of see those incentives early. It's just it's incredible to see the response.
It definitely is. I mean, and with the personal experiences too, I'm sure as a board, as you leading the organization, it's changed you guys too, right? Well, as you mentioned, as you continue to evolve, you've seen the evolve in the organization. How have you seen evolving as an individual as you lead this organization?
Yeah, yeah. We provide enrichment experiences. We have a joke as a team that we we provide enrichment, and we also receive a level of enrichment. Right, the fulfillment we receive from helping these students is unlike anything. That's something, especially talking to donors or whoever. That new car is going to really do something good for you. Right, you're going to feel cool in that car, and you're going to feel great. Nothing. I love cars, so nothing against cars here. But the fulfillment you receive from helping a student navigate their future and the opportunity cost there is just it's completely changed the way I've looked at money. Right. I was asked something the other day. Somebody asked us, like, a couple of our board members are very helpful to our mission, and a lot of them financially benefit what we do. And we were asked something like, you don't want to continue to have to fund some of these things yourself forever. And some people play fantasy football, some people will have hobbies. What we really like to do is sit down and help students navigate their path. And I think it's a really cool alignment that we all have as a board. And I couldn't ask for a better group of people to build this with. It's been incredible to see their response too. So yeah, it is just as fulfilling and as enriching for us as it is for the kids we work with.
For you, who helped you align that path and who gave you that direction? Not necessarily pointed you the right way, but was there for you when you needed it.
Yeah. So early in my life, my parents, and still to this day, my parents, they've had the greatest impact on me over anyone. Right. I think there's something to be said about being in a football locker room too. When you're around people that just have a level of drive that is just unmatched, right? Like, every person in that locker room wants to play on Sundays. And you have the coaches around you that are just so pivotal to your success and want more for you. Like, I mean, Coach Brown's had a massive impact on me, just seeing, showing me what a man is. I mean, like, he's really shown me a man with a spotlight, how he can handle both sides so well. It's inspiring to me. I mean, watching some of my friends go from my classmates to, like, playing on Sundays, stuff like that it's inspiring. And I don't really have the personal skill set to do the play on Sundays. I wish I could. I would love to say that I turned down the NFL to help build out YEF and do my day job on top. But that's just not the case. But YEF is something that I do have the skill set for, and I'm able to, give back my time in a way that's fulfilling to me. So a lot of pieces that have kind of helped me get to this point. My parents, though, they're definitely the top of that. They're wonderful people.
You can find out more about Youth Experience Fund at youthexperiencefund.org, where you can donate. That goes straight to youth right here in Rockingham County, all that they do. Some great things going on. Speaking of guys that are going to be pro, what are you guys doing? Giving away a Drake Maye jersey? Is this correct?
Yeah, this is real. This is 100% real. And hopefully anybody in Rockingham County or from Rockingham County or wherever you're from is watching. You have the chance to win this jersey. A good friend of mine, Drake Maye, and a guy that, I believe will definitely be playing on Sundays soon here in the future, was lucky enough to collaborate with us. This is one of the benefits of name, image, and likeness that we've been lucky enough to have now, thanks to some policy changes. So Drake was quick to want to help us out, and we're more than excited to work with him on this. He really is. He's a staple of our community, and he's kind of what every kid wants to be, right? Everybody wants to be the Chapel Hill quarterback. So it's cool that he was willing to sit down, and it's great for our kids to see too. It's like, if you work really hard, you can be this successful.
So for those that are interested in drawing, head on over to Instagram, look up Youth Experience Fund, and Adam, break it down. How can folks get entered into this?
Yeah, so there's 3 ways to win. One of which is to just post the photo on your story, whether Facebook or Instagram, and like the photo, please, and then follow us. That'll get you 3 free entries. The second is just tag your friends, right? That's the best way to get the message out. Let other people know what we're doing, and you can do that in the comments. And the third is to donate, and there's no maximum here. There's a maximum in the first 2, but if you donate $1,000, then you get 1,000 entries, right?
There you go.
We want that to go to somebody that really wants it. So yeah, would love for you to take the third option as well. But in any way you can help us, get the word out on what we're trying to do. We think it's going to make a big impact on the students in Rockingham County, and we have a unique opportunity to impact a lot of kids at scale. So we're really excited about that.
Tell us about some of the other things that you're working on right now, some of the other initiatives. I know you got some turkeys to give away coming up as well. Tell us a little bit about what's going on initiative-wise with you guys at Youth Experience Fund.
Yeah. So an event, if anybody in the community wants to give some time, that's to us even more valuable than any contribution you can make. We will have a turkey drive. It'll be in collaboration with Reedsville Nissan. They were kind enough to help us with some of the fundraising and some of the food drive side. So there's two ways you can help out. Number one is to stop by Reedsville Nissan in Reedsville off of Freeway Drive. They actually have a truck set up in the showroom, and you can drop food in the truck trunk. So there's a trunk that's full of canned foods, and we'll be handing those out. We're going to be feeding 120 people on November 21st. Now that leads me into the second ask. If you're willing to come out and hand out turkeys with us, like I said, we're going to be feeding 120 people across 24 families. We're doing that in collaboration with Rockingham County Youth Services. And also in collaboration with Reedsville Nissan. So a lot of good folks helping us out, and a big shout out to Noah Jones and Justin over there at Reedsville Nissan, two great guys that have helped us kind of get this off the ground and willing to put a showroom piece up that'll help both sides, hopefully.
So you've built the foundation at YEF. The house is being built right now. I got to ask before we head out of here, what are some of the things you see in the future, the additions, things that you want to see as you continue to grow with support from the community at Youth Experience Fund?
Yeah, a big goal for us is just, how many kids can we help? How many students can we possibly help? And that takes buy-in from the community. We run a really efficient model that we hope to expand to 32 students in the probably 5-year future would be a big goal for us. We'd love to work with one student per grade at all 4 major high schools in Rockingham County. So that's a massive goal for us. And, the more we can scale and get the word out, I think the closer we'll get to something like that. We also do look for mentors. Each student is directly supplied a mentor, and also tutors. We offer tutoring services, but anyone that's willing to help out with that is greatly appreciated. And we'd love for you to provide assistance there. So those are two really strong angles that folks can be helpful. And that's hopefully the future that we can hopefully achieve together.
And finally, for donations, to find out more about what you're doing, give us all the information where we can find you guys.
Yeah, so our website is www.youthexperiencefund.org. And our email address is just youthexperiencefund@gmail.com. Everybody in Rockingham County, you can feel free to text me, 336-552-8443. My ringer is always on for people in Rockingham County, so always feel free to reach out. And yeah, let's talk about any way that you want to help. Right, I think that's a big ask for us. We're not picky in terms of assistance and what we're trying to build here. We want this to be the community's nonprofit. This isn't Adam's thing. This isn't Joe's thing. This isn't any of our individual thing. We want you to bring a we and an us to this mission. So this is all of our mission is to help this group of students that that need it year by year. And any way you'd like to help us out, you can reach out and let me know.
He's Adam Buck. It's the Youth Experience Fund, youthexperiencefund.org. Adam, thanks for your time on In the Community. Have a great time. Enjoy giving that Drake Maye jersey away. And I got a couple friends I'm going to be texting right now. David, if you're listening, you got to get in on this entry. And everybody out there, if you want to, make sure you share. Make sure we get that out there to not only get the great jersey into a great Tar Heel fan's hands, but also to help out Youth Experience Fund. Adam, thanks so much for your time. Take care, and we'll see you throughout the community.
Joe, thanks for having me. And as always, go Heels.
It's In the Community on Roco Radio.
Okay, all right.